Welcome to Titans of Terror, where we look at the men and women who have shaped the horror landscape. Today's subject, filmmaker Juan Piquer Simón. Juan Piquer Simón was born in Valencia, Spain on February 16, 1935. As a young boy, he was always going to the cinema. The first film that inspired him was The Drums of Fu Manchu. His father gave him a baby Pathé 9.5mm camera, and things were never the same again. Later, he went to the Madrid Film School, but the school closed in his second year due to financial and political problems. He participated in theater and in radio until 1957, when he moved to Madrid to join the Institute of Research and Experiences Cinematography, where he immediately became a cameraman for TVE television. In 1959, Juan created Cinedinter, a pioneer of advertising spots. During this time, he got a chance to observe many directors and cinematographers. He called it the best film school ever. In 1964, Juan made his first documentary short, Violent Spain, about the Spanish Civil War. It was banned on initial release. The next year, he made another historical short called Life in Peace. In 1971, Juan made a short film called The Gorilla, but it was not released until 1978. In 1972, Juan opened his own independent studio, Piquer Studios, in Madrid, and designed many of his own special effects sequences for his films. He used this studio up until 1990. Juan's first feature film came in 1978 with the release of Journey to the Center of the Earth, also known as Where Time Began, based on the Jules Verne novel. The movie tells the tale of four people trying to get to the center of the earth by entering into a world of caves through a volcano. On their way, they discover prehistoric animals, such as some dinosaurs and a giant gorilla-like ape. The film features the last leading role of popular British actor Kenneth More. The film was a big hit and opened Juan up to the American market. Next up, Juan helped make the 1978 horror film Satan's Blood, also known as Don't Panic. Juan served as an executive producer on the film, while being uncredited on art direction and co-directing the feature with Carlos Puerto. The film is about a young couple being tricked into going into a sinister house where a coven of devil worshippers awaits them. Juan next tackled the superhero genre with 1979's Supersonic Man, starring American B-movie icon Cameron Mitchell as the main bad guy. In the film, the extraterrestrial superhero Kronos tangles with the mad scientist Dr. Gulick over the fate of mankind. Only Kronos' superpowers, which include flight, bulletproof skin, and the ability to turn guns into bananas, can save Earth from destruction. Supersonic Man is notable for being the last film seen on WFLD's Son of Svengoolie show in 1986, as well as being spoofed by Riff Trax in 2013. In 1981, Juan returned to the world of Jules Verne when he directed Mystery on Monster Island. This time he got to work with notable actors Terence Stamp and Peter Cushing, with a cameo from Spanish horror star Paul Naschy. The film tells the story of a young man and his traveling buddy embarking on a global journey on board his uncle's ship, only to be shipwrecked on a desolate island teeming with prehistoric creatures and gold-hunting bandits. Continuing his adventures with Jules Verne, Juan next directed Sea Devils in 1982. In this film, a slave hunter attacks a ship on sea in which 6 adolescents are on their way to Australia. They succeed in escaping and are being picked up by a whale ship with a motley crew. Also in 1982, Juan directed perhaps his most well-known film, the seminal slasher flick, Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. On a university campus in Boston, a serial killer kills young women and severs various body parts, stealing body pieces from each student. Believe it or not, the initial script for the film was intended to be a made-for-TV murder mystery. Juan took the basic idea and wrote the screenplay. Most of the guts and gore in the film were actually internal organs of dead animals, with real blood taken from a slaughterhouse. Actor Christopher George owed some filmmakers some favors, so he and his wife Linda were cast in this film without a script. However, both were under the impression it was a murder mystery, not the gory slasher it ended up being. Over the years, Pieces has become a much beloved slasher classic. Juan's next film intended to be a low-budget horror film about an evil alien on a murderous rampage. However, with the success of E.T., the producers made the alien cute and lovable, with a kid befriending it and naming him Trumpy, due to his short trumpet-like snout. The film was released in 1983 and became known as Extraterrestrial Visitors, also known as Pod People. The film would be largely forgotten until 1991, where it appeared on the cult comedy television series Mystery Science Theater 3000. The show made the film's song Hear the Engines Roll a recurring joke on the series due to its unintelligible lyrics and the lead singer's post-song pose.
Well, it stinks.
Film critic Chris Morgan deemed the film one of the worst movies I have ever seen, but fortunately, it is bad in a way that is funny. Juan then wrote and helped direct the 1984 action-adventure film Dirty War, about a mercenary in Africa attempting to leave his crooked organization, but they refused to let him. Juan then returned to the director's chair in 1988 with Slugs, about people mysteriously dying in gruesome ways due to a slew of killer slugs. The film is a loving ode to 50s monster movies, but this time with much more gore, guts, and blood. The film features pretty good special effects considering the low budget. The special effects even won a Goya Award, which is the Spanish equivalent of the Oscars. The real stars of the film here, though, are the Slugs. The film flopped at the US box office as it was released in only 7 theaters. 1990 brought The Rift, also known as Endless Descent, starring Jack Scalia, R. Lee Ermey, and Ray Wise. A submarine rescue operation ventures into the deep to recover a missing vessel. Their quest is hindered, however, when the submarine becomes entangled in a patch of toxic seaweed. Reviewers noted the lack of originality in its plot, but praised the film for providing action-packed entertainment on a limited budget. R. Lee Ermey's performance is often praised, but most critics agree he couldn't save the movie. Juan returned in 1992 with Cthulhu Mansion, also known as Black Magic Mansion. The film tells the tale of a group of drug dealers fleeing from a murder scene and kidnapping an aging magician and his daughter. They end up hiding out at the magician's mansion, where he unleashes dark spirits upon the criminals. The film received negative reviews for its poor writing, acting, and special effects, but it does have an odd charm about it. This was the last production at PK Studios. In 1994, Juan created the Malvarosa Film Factory in Valencia for the production of his next films. His next film ended up being the pirate adventure Devil's Island in 1995. The pirates encounter a tribe of cannibals that worship a monster that protects a treasure. The one review that I found called it an insult of a movie. The next year, Juan would make his final feature film, Manoa, the City of Gold, about 2 men finding an old dying tribesman who entrusts them with an Incan map that describes the location of a hidden treasure. One reviewer stated, "You will watch it and think it is either awful, hilarious, a masterpiece, or all 3. The film went unreleased for 3 years, finally being available in 1999. Also in 1999, Juan wrote another adventure film in the same vein as Manoa called The Golden Beetle, involving the discovery of a treasure of Captain Kidd. In April of 2003, Juan became the co-director of the Mediterranean Film Festival in Valencia, Spain. He stayed with them until 2008. Juan passed away on January 8, 2011, at the age of 75, due to lung cancer. Whether he was ramping up the gore on a horror film, goofing on an E.T. ripoff, or having pirate adventures, Juan Piquer Simón was always a true titan of terror.